What is up, my friends? Griff and I are going to spend a few minutes today discussing the early fall time of the year and some of our must-have go-to baits. Fall can be a very difficult time to be out there, and there's a lot of things happening, a lot of transitions happening, temperature changes happening, behavior things happening, so it can be a frustrating time of the year. We're hoping just to shed some light on, we said we were each going to pick 3 different techniques that we are kind of our go-to, always tied on our rod techniques that we use this time of the year no matter where we go. So we're just going to break it down, have a fun conversation, and hopefully it will shed some light and maybe give a starting point if you guys are struggling so that you guys can catch more fish. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's have some fun. All right, welcome back, my friends. I'm Ben with the Hookup Tackle, the Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined by my best buddy Griff at G Sticks Bespoke on Instagram, and my other buddy David behind the camera. Today, we're talking about fall, we're calling it early fall.
Early fall.
Depending if you've made poor life choices or not, right? Like, we're talking early fall, and it's, 85 degrees outside, and our water temps are in the 60s, right?
Yeah, high 60s.
There's a lot of people that are in the 30s already, or 40s, and they're, bundled up in 7 layers already. Yeah, you guys are screwed. Yeah. Nothing we're gonna talk about is gonna apply to you. But you might as well hang out and have some fun with us. This is a difficult time of the year in general to fish a lot of bodies of water because so many things are happening. There's turnover that happens, there's migrations that happen, there's a bunch of weather uncertainty, hot, cold, rain, sun, right? So the fish just tend to kind of, I don't know, they just get kind of emotional.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a good way of putting it?
That's a good way.
Yeah. So, some days you go out there and you just absolutely hammer them, and then, if you don't get to go out again for, say, another week, chances are sometime between you when you were there and when you go back, something in that 7-day period probably happened. Rain, wind, cold, hot, right? That maybe forced them to kind of change or move or just be little bitches. Sometimes that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Bitches.
Yeah, good input. So today we're gonna basically we both picked 3 techniques that we always do this time of the year. And we're gonna try to shed some light on it. So when you think of fall, right? Is there like a general behavior that you are thinking about when you're targeting the fish, or what's going through your head when you're trying to diagnose this season and what might be happening?
So every time I think fall, I think feeding, right? I think these fish are going to start feeding. They're getting ready for the cold weather, so they're going to get as fat as they can, and they're just going to feed and gorge. So, and then they're going to split. They make this weird split where some of them stay shallow and some of them are going to go deep. So now I got to figure out how to target all of the water column.
Okay.
So, and that's what I'm going to try to do when I go out there.
Okay. So I think of it almost the same exact way. Fall is kind of the season of extremes.
Yeah.
You could literally catch them in 2 inches of water and 80 feet within an hour.
Yep.
Right? So, and what happens, and the reason for that is, like Griff said, they're always going to follow the food. But if the fish are bait-related fish, the bait this time of the year is very temperamental. So in some places, as it cools, the bait will find the cooler water and they'll migrate, up into creek arms or channels or backs of coves or even just to the bank to find that cooler water. And then in some places, they freak out when they get that cooler water.
Yeah.
Right? The lake will get a turnover where, the water on the bottom is cold and the water on the top is hot through the summer, and then all of a sudden you get this colder water, and then the lake kind of does this flip where the colder water kind of boom, goes shallow, and sometimes that bait will just kind of pull deep. So you kind of have to be prepared for both extremes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump in. You start. What do you want me to grab first? Where's your starting point?
I'm going to start on top. Yeah, so when we start getting fall, we don't have trees with leaves out here, right? So we don't have like these leaves falling, but what happens is our tules or our cane starts to die, right? And it falls on top of the water. It creates a bunch of shade because in the morning it's cool, but it's still hot for us. So I like to throw a frog early in the morning. These fish will feed in the morning when it's dark, and then they'll kind of push underneath all this dead, dying stuff. I'll find little pockets everywhere, and I just like to throw a frog in there. Throw a frog in there. You don't really get to work it because, you know, it's a pocket on top with grass all over the place. So I just kind of flip it in there, shake it around, and it gets bit.
So it's more of a target specific thing. If you can get your bait in the spot,
Yeah.
you just marinate it in the spot until they eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah. I mean, and their holes like this big.
Yeah.
You'll see all those dead
So you're
tules.
talking about just lay down like mats in little pockets that you can kind of flip into.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like to do that. You can run a frog just like you normally run a frog, but it's fun to flip a frog into a heavy cover. I really enjoy doing that. And when you still have a topwater bite going, it's good to target a topwater bite.
Do you have any color preference this time of the year? Are you trying to mimic anything specific food-wise?
I'm just trying to get these fish to look, so I'm always going to go with a light and a green. So I want it to look
Okay.
like a frog or a shad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So pretty much what they're eating.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, bait number one for me is also on the top. I'm a huge fan of topwater as long as we can get bit on topwater.
Yeah.
I fish a lot more open water than Griff does. So for me, I'm more of a walking bait person. So, you know, I'm fishing points, rocks, basically just running bank and trying to cover a lot of water. So for me, you know, somewhere in here is usually where I go. Usually in the mornings, I'm going to go with something like a Showerblows, a kick knocker would be in here as well, or, you know, the Dog X Diamante is one. I've been throwing the Sonic Slide quite a bit lately. I want something usually that's got some sound and some knock and has the ability to withstand a little bit of chop, because a lot of the mornings in the fall tend to be a little bit breezy in the morning. So a lot of times there's just a little bit more noise on the water, there's a little bit more wind on the water, and a lot of topwaters struggle when they get waves, right? So a kick knocker, a Sonic Slide, these are great for being able to work through and still create some sound as they go through. And if I'm having success, as the sun comes up and you know, everything lays down, I'll throw these loud ones until they stop eating them, but usually they eat them pretty quick this time of the year. It's like a super small feeding window, like an hour and a half in the morning, and then the sun comes up and you'll notice the bait will just kind of pull down. A lot of times I can still get them to eat if I just change up the sound to something quiet. I still want a larger profile, I just want it to be quiet. The Evergreen JT is a great one for me. I can still cover a lot of water. It still gives them a presentation without being this big, loud, knocking thing. So for me, walking bait's kind of my, you know, go-to first thing. But a frog is also something critical. Like if you're fishing on any kind of grass or tules or anything, I have a frog tied on every day. Yeah, multiple frogs. For me, it's more like if I see him feeding on little bluegill or tilapia around grass, I'll throw a frog and just kind of twitch it. I really like the honker frog, or even a popper, right? So popper is a great one too, if you see a lot of bluegill and stuff moving around. But if they're on shad, then I really like the walking bait.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so far we're similar, 1 for 1. We're
for
both starting
one.
with topwater.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. Where are
Yeah.
you going if the topwater's not happening?
I'm going deep. I'm not gonna work my way down the column. I'm going from the top to deep.
Top to deep. Okay,
Right.
so straight to deep.
Straight to deep.
Okay, what do you got?
And an Arizona Classic is a jerkbait,
Okay,
right?
I would
So,
agree.
I don't throw the jerkbait in the summer at all. I kind of put it down after the spring. So I picked this one back up. It's the Asura EX DR.
Okay.
All right. This one is super sick. So it doesn't have a big body. If you are a 110 guy, it's like a 110 junior size.
Yep.
Right? So some of the shad can be pretty small this time of year. So I'm just gonna present them a small bait.
And this gets down how deep?
So when I have this bait, I can work it on like 6 or 7 pound.
Okay.
And I can get it down about 22 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's crazy deep.
Yeah.
For a bait this size.
Crazy deep.
A lot of guys usually when they like, oh, I need to get a little extra depth, they go to like a 110+1.
Yeah.
That gets down like 9 feet.
Right.
Yeah, this is doubling that.
Yeah.
If you go light line.
Yep.
Yep.
If I see a tree down there or something like that,
Yep.
like 20, 22 foot,
Yep.
I'm gonna try to work it right on top of that tree.
Yep.
Small twitches, if you rip it hard, you're gonna keep it up in like that 15 to 16 foot range. But
Okay.
small, soft twitches, and it's gonna dive every time you twitch it.
Deeper, 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 deeper.
Until it just hits its deepest point, right?
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So super non-aggressive bait.
Yep.
It has a lot of movement to it, but it's very non-aggressive. It does have a knocker in there.
Yep.
It casts crazy far.
Yeah, it's a really good casting.
Yeah. This has become one of my favorite deep water jerkbaits.
So color-wise,
Yeah.
you know,
Shad.
okay, so that's our top. That's our target.
Yep.
Food. Okay.
Shad.
So are you going shiny? Are you going transparent? How are you choosing your color?
So I
profiles?
like transparent.
Okay.
Right. Transparent makes the most sense to me. But if they're not in that, I'll go to a white.
Okay.
Like white. White in Arizona is another good color that they eat.
Yep.
And then yeah, there's another.
Like a ghost minnow,
Yeah,
tasty
another-
shad. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my second choice, a super deep diving jerkbait.
Cool. All right. So I almost went with the jerkbait for my second choice, but usually the jerkbait's like my third or fourth choice. So usually if I'm not getting on topwater, I still want to try to stay in that real shallow lane.
Okay.
This is the time of the year, if you guys like throwing a big bait, you can catch a lot of, I'm going to call them decent sized fish.
Okay.
Right? I mean, obviously you could catch a giant anytime you go out, but this is the time of the year where if you throw a bigger glide consistently shallow, you're gonna get a lot of those like 3/4 of the way to your goal sized fish. And so for me, like I would consider anything over 10 pounds to be big. So I'm talking about, 5 to 10 pound fish, a lot of them. So, that class is, little bit bigger than like your normal decent sized fish. They love being super shallow this time of the year, right? I feel like once they kind of break that 10 pound mark, at least here, then they kind of like a little more stability and they kind of drop down a little bit and they're just gonna wait for food to come. Not to say that you can't get them, right? But for me, I love something again that I can fish relatively fast. So something that's kind of choppy, that I can glide real quick or chop, 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 chop and move down the bank, cover a lot of water. That's basically what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to milk run this. I'll have 5 or 6 little stretches I like. I just hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, and then just kind of go in a circle until I give up, right? So Chad Shad's a great one. The Glide Wade's a good one. The I Slide is a great one. Bait Sanity Chimera Shad's a great one. Any of those would be good. This kind of like 2-ounce size bait, you could incorporate the Osakana Slide in this as well. I like that smaller size that I can just work real fast. I'm just looking to chop and use their aggression kind of against them. I don't want a real slow moving glide yet because our water's still pretty warm. Now, a lot of you guys might be in places where your water's already down in the 50s, high 40s. This might be too much chop already for you. You might need to go to like a slide swimmer or, something where you get a much more fluid, movement out of. But for me, topwater first, glide second. It's a great kind of 1-2 punch for me in the shallows.
All right.
Number 3 for you.
Number 3.
You went shallow, you went deep. Now what are you doing?
And now I'm gonna drag something.
Okay.
That I know will stay on the bottom, whether it's shallow or deep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna drag it down the column.
Okay.
Right.
Until you find where they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I find where they are.
Okay.
And for me, the easiest way to do that is gonna be with a swim bait.
Yep.
All right. I've been having a ton of luck on this 6-inch DoLive Shad.
Okay.
Crushing them on this.
Good.
Right. So, and
It's
then
an under the radar bait.
dude, they eat this thing.
Yeah. The DoLive Shad is super sneaky because a lot of people think it's paddle tail swim bait, and they're correct.
Yeah.
It is just a paddle tail swim bait. However,
Yeah.
it's got a different rock and a different scent and flavor.
Yeah. It does something different.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's made at the same factory as, K-Tech makes it.
Yeah.
So, basically if you took a fat swing impact from K-Tech, and you put it into one that had more rock, that's what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously it's great.
Yeah, and specifically the 16 size.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got these. I mean, these has been available for a couple weeks.
Yep. The 5-inch freestyle.
5-inch freestyle.
Yeah.
And I've literally gone through 60 packs of these.
Well, you need to calm down. Oh, no, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm catching a lot of fish on them.
Yeah.
And they're catching them. They're eating them really, really good. One thing that I like to do is I don't fish them like your standard traditional way.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this one on a nutsack. So
Yep. It's been a while since we've talked about
we're
the
bringing
old
back the
nutsack.
nutsack. Yeah.
So this is a rig that we just messed with a while ago. It might have an official name. If it does, I don't know what the official name is. We just nicknamed it the nutsack. Here, let me hold something for you so that stuff's not falling
I'm
down.
not gonna
like
completely rig it.
crazy. No, let's completely rig it.
Okay.
Or, yeah, just demonstrate it.
Yeah.
I want to drink beer. Show me the rigging here. What are we doing?
Okay, so I'm going to do a 4-aught beast non-weighted. So normally you'll put the 4-aught weighted on there.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna get a free rig weight. I like to use a 3/8. This one is a quarter, it's a little smaller than I like to do. And then I'll just rig it.
You want me to twist it on there?
Yeah.
So basically the difference here, I mean, you're still going to have the weight.
Yeah. The difference is gonna be that I can add a heavier weight to it.
Okay.
So it'll sink. The MagDrafts love to rise
Yep.
as you're fishing them if you fish them traditionally.
Yep.
And also that weight's gonna add a ton more rock to it.
Okay, so you're basically just leaving that weight free swinging on this thing.
Yeah.
You're not fixing it in
Nope.
anything, you're just leaving it.
Yep.
So if you throw it out there and let it sink, especially if you got a 3/8 or a half, it's gonna kind of pull it down,
Yep.
shimmy falls down as it falls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I can drag it. As I drag it, it's gonna pull to the back.
Yep.
Right? It's gonna keel the bait really well.
Yep.
And then if I want to fish it through the column, it's gonna fall down here.
Yep.
And it's just gonna rock like this, and it's gonna give this
So
bait
does it force the bait to kind of move? Okay.
shit ton of head rock.
Yeah.
As you have this magical, whatever the MagDraft does, it's magical.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You have this magical MagDraft tail motion, and then it catches fish.
Yep.
And it gives you the ability to fish any part of the column, however you want. Fish it through it, on the bottom of it.
Yep.
And then it adds a little bit more action to the bait.
Cool.
Right?
Cool. And this is a great way. This is essentially kind of how I fish my Citizen Micro
Yeah,
a
with
lot
that ball.
but it's fixed more on the piece. But having that weight below it just forces that rock
Yeah.
so much more. It's a really sneaky way.
Yeah.
All right.
And then with this, I'm just gonna do the same thing, but I'm just gonna use a bean sinker in front of it. We've talked about this a million times on this channel. Add the bean sinker in front of it, fish it on the bottom, fish it through the column, and it just does all that stuff.
So kind of like a Texas rig.
Yep.
So you're just using more of a bean weight versus a traditional bullet weight.
Yep.
So it comes through the rocks a little bit better.
Yep, and
Yep.
it keels it a little better too,
Okay.
with the downforce of the weight.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions on these weights, the difference in weight shape makes a huge difference. Those bean weights for that style, for flipping,
Yeah.
for punching, really have made a huge difference for
Yeah.
a lot of us.
I don't think I've touched like a traditional punching weight in a long time.
I haven't.
Now that we got these beans in.
Yep. No, I don't really even use them
Yeah.
anymore. So
I'm on them.
you should experiment. If you're not using it now, try it. It's worth trying it. They come in both a tungsten and a lead version. The tungsten one makes the most sense because it's small and compact and hard.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to spend tungsten money, you can get a lead version too. And Ryugi makes both of them, so you can try them out.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm also going deep for my third bait. Like I said, time of extremes, shallow or deep. So for me, the bait I choose to start is just going to depend really on the place that I'm at. And I'd say it's kind of a 50-50 deal. If they're deep and on the bottom, then I'm cranking. And if they're deep and suspended, then I'm spooning. And that's basically how I figured out. Or if they're really deep.
Yeah.
And we have a lake out here, Lake Pleasant, where, I mean, 60, 70, 80 feet is very common for us to be catching fish out of. Obviously, I'm not sending a Blitz Max DR down to 80 feet.
Put it on a whip.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could. But, you know, the crankbait is really kind of my go-to fall deal, the deep crank. Okay, so this is if the fish are going to be hanging out in that 15 to 25 foot zone. These are basically the 3 baits that I live on. So the Blitz Magnum DR and the Blitz Max DR when I'm grinding. The Deep Six by Megabass when I just want to tick things. So if I just want to tick the bottom, if I just want to tick the tops of trees, if I want to tick grass, you know, I just want that bait. It basically dives vertical, so if I just want it kind of hitting like this, I go Deep Six. If I want that thing in the rocks really grinding, then I throw the OSP. But if the fish are much deeper than that, if they're in that, you know, 30, 40, 50 foot zone, then I switch over to some type of jigging spoon or, you know, heavier blade style bait. So this will just allow me to use my electronics, find schools of fish, find schools of bait, see where they are, set up on a good bend or, you know, high spot or whatever, and I'm basically just dropping this stuff down and vertically jigging it. So it's not necessarily a lot of fun until you get on a mega school and you're catching them every drop, and then it's some of the funnest fishing.
Yeah, a spoon bite can be super sick.
Yeah, it's really addicting. But as far as things I like, if I'm throwing a blade bait, I like the OSP Override. Depth Circuit Vibe is another great one. If I'm dropping like a hard jigging spoon, I really like the Duo jigging spoons. Probably the best. You got me on these a couple years ago. The Megabass Waving Rider is great. Or any old school, you know, Lure Jensen, crippled herrings, like any of that stuff all work great as well. But yeah, that's my deep water approach.
Those are good ones. That's good.
All right, guys, so we promised each other we'd talk about 3, right? Obviously, we could have talked about a million different things that could be effective.
Yeah, I'm going out tomorrow. I had 12 rods tied up right now.
Right.
All separate things.
This is literally the time of the year where junk fishing, I think, was the name became a thing, because same thing. I've got, you know, I remember when I was poor and only had 12 rods, you know, I've got like 100 in my rod lockers, the 100 different things on there. It's cute that you got 12.
I got 12 tied up.
Oh, okay.
I have 14 rods.
So yeah, guys, don't be afraid to experiment. Literally, Griff and I could fish out of the same boat and have 2 completely different days.
Yeah.
He could be railing them on the frog, and I could be dragging a free rig in 50 feet behind him, and we could both be catching them equally as well.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to experiment. Try a lot of different things. Just remember, the biggest thing with the fall is that the fish are kind of on the move. They're looking for food, like Griff said in the beginning. So I wouldn't spend too much time in one area.
Right.
I'd move around a lot, right? So if you have electronics, it helps a lot. If you don't have electronics, or you're like me, you just don't like to use electronics, just keep moving around. Just bounce around a lot. Yes, us old people just like to visually see and use our memory. I remember when I was 12, I caught one on this point.
I can smell in the air the water temperature is 62.
Oh, they're over there. There's the shad. So whatever it is that you guys do in the fall, have a good time, have fun, experiment, okay, play. But if you need some starting points, hopefully what we talked about at least gets you pointed in the right direction. So we'll put links to everything. If you guys have questions on any of this stuff, I know Griff got into more rigging things with you. You can always track him down, but he fishes pretty much every day. So if he's not responding to you, get used to that. I always respond to people that reach out to me. So you can find me on Instagram or drop down below and one of us will get an answer back to you. And until the next time, did you want to say something?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching these videos and hanging out and letting us hang out. Holler at us anytime. Until next time, it's peace for now. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Peace. Later.